Okay. I think you said that totalitarian regimes and tech companies, they both have the same business model. And I was wondering if you could talk about that and also talk about how censorship plays in there because we've been having quite a fight here with censorship and a lot of our content has been banned and deleted. Even though I can't always understand why or agree with why, and I'm trying to get my head around it, and maybe you can help me with that.
Well, so I mean, censorship on large tech companies' platforms is based on essentially curating the kind of community that they want on their platform, and so they hire censors that go through training about what kind of things they want to have on their platforms and what kind of things that they don't. And I began to see, the parallels with what was going on in China because the Chinese also censor their platforms, but it's also it's uniform. It's essentially so Twitter has a censorship platform, Facebook has a censorship platform, but they're somewhat consistent, but also they're inconsistent based on the fact that they're two separate companies. In China, the Chinese Communist Party has a censorship platform that's uniform, and it's also based on teaching. So if you go to become a censor in China, you learn what Tiananmen Square is about, so that you know what to censor on the platform. So in many ways, the business model is the same, except in democratic societies, the platform is not uniform. In a totalitarian regime, you have a very uniform platform. So it is very much about influencing, but the communities are not, completely uniform across a platform like it is in China.
Why are we seeing more censorship right now? Is it because of this lockdown? I had a guest on that said, he said, Brian, it's not YouTube that's censoring you. It's the pressure they're getting from governments, maybe corporations, maybe regulators that's forcing you to be silent on certain issues. I mean, what do you see here?
So you remember when the San Bernardino shooting happened and the FBI and Apple got into the disagreement about Apple not giving backdoors to the FBI? I think that goes to the heart of your question, and that is they're censoring because they can, right? Governments have begun to realize that these platforms are very powerful at influencing people. And not only governments, but institutions within societies. So groups have realized that using these platforms to influence people are very powerful. And totalitarian regimes have certainly figured this out. So when you can influence people, you have that power through the aggregation of data. Of course, people are going to want to use it. Now, that becomes a challenge in a democracy, and when the federal government, in the case of the United States, is not actually able to get on those platforms because it's against the law. So who becomes the ones that begin to influence through those platforms? Either the institutions themselves, like YouTube, or those that would put pressure on YouTube. And in a totalitarian regime, it is the Chinese Communist Party. And certainly because they are the regime they can also put pressure on YouTube to influence you. So who has less influence through these platforms are the governments themselves, who are tasked with the job by virtue of the Constitution in the case of the United States. So preamble, provide for the common defense. So they're tasked with the job of maintaining the independence and sovereignty of the nation, and certainly the self-determination of the individual within that society. But then when they can't actually protect from that influence on the social media platforms themselves, then it becomes a problem where the government, the government in the case of a democracy, no longer has the power to protect the individual from outside foreign influence or the influence inside of those that would do things that are counter to their interests. This is a challenge, and it has been a challenge since really we talked about the imposition or the introduction of the iPhone and 4G networks. It's really about, we're in an information society now. that we didn't really put a lot of thought into its evolution in terms of, maintaining the democratic principles that our society was founded upon. That's the challenge. The national security strategy talks about that. We were discussing it, thinking about it. But in actuality, until we as a society come to grips with the fact that we need to think about the fact that no longer can the government protect the society from outside influence or undue influence, then we have a big problem.
Yeah, we have a real problem because, I'm from America and I think freedom of speech is woven into my DNA. So when someone says I can't say what I want or allow someone else to say what they want, it's just fundamentally feels wrong to me. And General, I was on the streets today in London and some people are coming up to me because they've been watching some of our content. And I just pulled out my phone and they were talking to the camera and I said, do you think this is right? And they said, well, we think people should be able to say their opinions and then we can listen to them and choose what we want to do. But now, since the digital world is the way we listen to other people's opinions, and these are controlled by private companies that have these blanket community policies, now they control our human right. Now there's a case to be made that since these private companies are effectively public utilities, and honestly, I'm speaking with a group of attorneys now about that, especially in the era of COVID-19, where literally these companies are being used to disperse public service messages, that you can force them to comply with, the First Amendment or basic human rights from the EU perspective. But that remains to be seen if that can be enforced. But if it can't, then like you said, they'll start censoring because they can. What do you think of those points?
Well, I think it's really about the power of the technology, of the foundation of the technology that we built these platforms on. It's really about open data and the fact that you don't control your own data and therefore you don't control your own life, your own digital life. That is very dangerous in a democracy. I'm not for FISA. I'm not for the government having, being able to collect data on you. I think it's counter to our principles as a democracy. I think your privacy, the ability to have, be protected from unlawful search and seizure. I think all of those things go into who we are as a nation. And really, they were well thought out. And they were based on, people that were being repressed or oppressed at the time. They had been subject to all of these things. And they realized that they didn't want a society that was like that. And yet what we've created is in our own kind of really strange way is the tools of our own destruction, because we allowed technology to grow in ways that are not conducive to those principles. We still have the opportunity to change this. So, and I think that's, I'm hopeful that we'll awaken to the fact that, I may not agree with your policy positions. You may not agree with mine, but we can be confident in the fact that we're both Americans and can rightfully have our own opinions and still live in harmony. That's one of the beautiful things about being an American. It's an immigrant society, and therefore we kind of broke all tribal bonds when people come to this country, and they establish a new bond under a new set of rules, which is really about living your life and letting others live their life, but doing it in a way that's respectful and allows for a difference of opinion. And then, in a political sense, we come together at the polls and we choose, collectively who we want to lead. All of those things are, I think, the paper that Constitution was written on is still valid. I think our ability to implement them or execute them in the digital world is really increasingly under assault, both from within and from without. And hopefully our better angels will recognize that, if we are to preserve this wonderful experiment, that we're going to have to deal with this.